Hi everyone, so I've been requested several times now to do a video about MAC eyeshadows. A few of you just wanted to know what I had in my palette, and then a few of you just wanted to know my thoughts on MAC eyeshadows. And I've kind of been meaning to do this for a really long time and just never got round to it. So I'm going to just get to it. Basically, I'm going to talk you through my MAC eyeshadows, my thoughts on MAC eyeshadows, give you a little bit of background about them and things like that. So I bought the MAC 15 eyeshadow palette. This is the MAC Pro 15 palette, I think. And it costs £11.50. I've just written down all the info so I knew exactly what to tell you. It costs £11.50 and I ordered it from the MAC website because there isn't a MAC anywhere near me, which is really, really annoying. But I think when you're buying things like a palette, or if you're repurchasing shadows that you already know, then buying online is fine. I wouldn't buy online with shadows that I hadn't tried before because I think it's important for you to make sure that you kind of know exactly what you're getting. MAC eyeshadows come in a few different formats. Obviously they have the kind of limited edition ones and that kind of thing, but I'm not going to go into that. You can buy MAC eyeshadows in the little pots that look like this. Now I've depotted the eyeshadow that I had in here, but basically when you buy them like this they cost £12 and they come in this little pot right here. This one was antiques, but obviously I depotted it and put it in my palette. But they come like this. Obviously the eyeshadow kind of sits in there and they come in this little palette. So that's good if you only want to have a couple and you don't want to buy a palette. Then you can buy them individually, which means that they kind of come as little pan shadows, which is really, really nice, I think, personally, because they just come in a little cardboard packaging and they look like that. This one right here is Mythology, but I'll go over all the shades in a minute. But they come in a little pan like this and they're cheaper. They're £10 when you buy them in the pan, and they come with a little magnetic sticker at the back. These are obviously meant to go in your palettes, and there's a few different palettes. I think they do a 2-1, a 4-1, a 10-1 I think, and a 15-1. I'm not sure. I'm going to put all the information for you in the description box anyway. But this is what it looks like. Obviously, like I said, it comes with a little magnet, and then you just pop it into your palette like so. So you just pop it in there and they're magnetised and they stick. The reason I bought the 15 palette was because I had 5 MAC eyeshadows that I had in little pots and I wanted to depot them. If you want to know how to depot MAC eyeshadows, then I might make a video about that, but honestly there's so many videos on here. I did it with the straightener method where you just kind of loosen the glue and kind of depot it, but that's another matter. But yeah, I depotted some and then I bought a couple and then I just popped them in my palette. I've got 4 spaces left in my palette, and as you can see these are all kind of pretty neutral, easy to wear shades. So I will just talk you through the shades first. So this one right here is Naked Lunch. Naked Lunch is a really kind of pretty, it's just a very pretty kind of everyday shade, quite shimmery, not overly pigmented. That one right there, and I'm wearing that in my inner corners. It's a great inner corner highlighter, that shade. Then this one right here is All That Glitters, which is one of my absolute all-time favourite eyeshadows ever. It's a very, very pretty, easy to wear champagne-y colour. Just got a beautiful sheen to it and just really brightens the eyes. This one is Sable, which is a really beautiful shade if you've got blue eyes or if you've got kind of greeny eyes. I know mine are brown, but I have got kind of specks of green in them, and this really, really brings out the colour in your eyes. It's a really beautiful shadow. Swatch that right here for you. It's kind of like a taupey, warm-toned brown. Then this one right here is Patina, and this is quite an unusual shade actually, because if you look at it when it's swatched, it's kind of a little bit warmer than it looks in the pot. That's what it looks like swatched. But in the pot it looks like a kind of cool toned taupe colour. But it's a very pretty, very kind of universally flattering colour, and it is a really, really nice one. This one right here is Tempting, and I really love this colour, but I just don't wear it very often for some reason. Watch that right there for you. It's got a lot of beautiful shimmer in it, and it's kind of got quite a bit of gold. It's got more gold in it than Patina, and Sable is kind of got more of a warm toned, just in a kind of red way. This is kind of more of a browny taupey gold colour, so that's really pretty. This one right here I smashed when I was depotting, which I was desperately devastated about, because this is Woodwinked, and Woodwinked is my absolute favourite eyeshadow. It's just beautiful. It's kind of this gorgeous orangey shade, really, really gorgeous. And I know they're all kind of look very, very similar, but on the eyes they don't. This has got a much more orangey undertone to it, kind of like a warm, almost fiery colour, and it's really beautiful. Then this one down here is Antique. This was the one that I depotted from this little one. And Antiqued is a very, very warm, rich brown, beautiful on your kind of lower lash line. I swatched it right here for you. It's kind of like a rich, reddy, dark brown. It looks absolutely beautiful, like I said, on your lower lash line or kind of smudged on your top lash line. Really, really brings out the green in your eyes. Then this one down here I'm wearing all over my lid today. I'm wearing this one's Mythology. So I'm wearing Mythology all over my lid with Naked Lunch in the inner corner, and then I'm wearing Patina in my crease. So yeah, Mythology is just a kind of pretty orangey coppery colour. It's kind of like a more vibrant version of All That Glitters. If you can see, that's All That Glitters and that's Mythology, and I feel like they're kind of similar. A lot of people say that Mythology and Antiqued are very similar. I completely disagree. I don't think Mythology is anything like Antiqued. Then this one down here is Sketch, and this is a really pretty kind of nighttime shade, but you could use this in your crease during the day if you wanted a sort of dramatic look. And it's a kind of purpley, taupey, deep brown. Again, very, very similar shades, but it's not got much shimmer in it. I think this is a matte, I'm not sure, but it's just a very kind of pretty colour in the crease, and it looks amazing with Woodwinked. And then this one right here is Beauty Marked, which is really, really beautiful. It probably won't show up on camera, but it's really got loads of different shades in it. It's kind of like a blacky purple with a lot of shimmer running through it, and it's a perfect kind of smoky eye colour if you want to have like a coloured smoky eye, but you don't want it to be too colourful. You don't want blues or greens, you just want something that's really easy to wear and really flattering. That's a really great one. And then this one right here is Carbon, which is their matte black shade. A universally multi-purpose product. You can use it to line your eyes, you can use it to kind of darken your crease, you can create a smoky eye, you can just kind of go for a subtle daytime look. It's a very, very easy colour to wear, and I will swatch it even though it's probably a bit pointless, but that's what that looks like. It looks kind of a bit grey on my finger, but you'll see once you apply it to your eyes it's not, and my hand looks like I'm insane now. But yeah, I'll just go over them again just to make sure that you know what their names are. So we have Naked Lunch, All That Glitters, Sable, Patina, Tempting, Woodwinked, Antiqued, what did we say this one was? Mythology, Beauty Marked, no, that's not Beauty Marked, Sketch, sorry, Sketch, Beauty Marked and Carbon. Now, when it comes to getting the shadows out of the palette, that's a little bit difficult and it's a little bit tricky, and I need to kind of put tags of all the names of the shadows, because if you can see, you just have to sort of pull them out, but sometimes it can be quite difficult, and then they say the names right there on the bottom. So I try and do it like that. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do it that way, but you could just put stickers on the top of your palette to tell you what the names of them are, and that would be a really easy way of doing it. But yeah, so those are all my eyeshadows. Now, what do I think of MAC eyeshadows? Personally, I think if you're going to spend a little bit of extra money when it comes to your eye makeup, shadows are the way to go, and I'll explain why. The nicer quality the shadow that you apply, I think you get a better colour payoff, you get more of an easy blend, and I just think that when you go into MAC, it's kind of like going into a sweet shop if you love makeup. There's so much to choose from, and there's no way that you can come with something that you don't like, because you've just got so much choice. Now obviously if you've picked something and you don't like it, that's something else, but they do loads of different finishes. I've just got the finishes open here right now because I couldn't remember them all off the top of my head, but you have Frost, Luster, Matte, Matte 2, Satin, Volux, Volux Pearl and Velvet, and that's basically just describing the finishes of whether they're matte shadows, whether they've got slight sheen to them, whether they've got any shimmer in them, all that kind of thing. If you want me to go into more detail and explain everything about the MAC different shadow finishes and lipstick finishes and all that kind of thing, then let me know and I will do a separate blog post or a video about that. I was just going to say plost. What the hell is a plost? But yeah, I'll do a separate video about that if you want me to. But I do think that they are worth the money, and I think once you've bought the palette, which is £11.50, which I don't think is very expensive, I do think the palette isn't the nicest quality because they kind of get a little bit mucky. Like if you can see there, you get finger marks on them and it gets a little bit grubby. And they don't feel overly substantial, like they feel like they could break. But they're really, really nice, and I think what you could do is if you want to collect eyeshadows, buy the 15 palette and then maybe buy like a 4 palette for if you travel a lot, and then you can kind of swap in between the 2 palettes and adapt it to what you need. Now, in terms of, like I said, are the shadows worth the money? I personally think MAC shadows are really worth the money, and MAC eyeshadows are one of the only eyeshadows that don't crease on my eyelids. I've got really, really oily eyelids, and most things by the end of the day will have creased. MAC shadows don't. Even my Urban Decay eyeshadows kind of start to crease towards the end of the day. But if I put one of these over a MAC paint pot, then they don't crease and they're really, really lovely. And I just think that the colour selection you get in there is just phenomenal. You know, you can go in and, like I said, so many different finishes, so many different colours. You're bound to find something that suits you. And try and kind of do your research before and know what it is you're looking for, because I know that a lot of people can find MAC quite daunting. And I do think that sometimes the staff in MAC are a little bit rude and a little bit unhelpful, so you don't always want to rely on the staff. Do your research at home, know exactly what it is that you're looking for, and then go and swatch and take your time and decide what it is that you want. But if I had to pick my MAC shadows over my Urban Decay shadows, I would definitely pick my MAC shadows. If I had to pick my MAC shadows over any other type of shadows, I would pick my MAC eyeshadows because they're just lovely, lovely quality, and I just love the way they apply. They don't give you any fallout as well, which obviously mine aren't particularly shimmery shadows, and maybe if you had really shimmery ones you would get a little bit of fallout. But personally I think like the shimmery shades from the Urban Decay Naked palette, like Toasted, which is a lovely, lovely shade, just gives you fallout. It kind of ends up kind of halfway down your cheek, and I hate that, and I don't like having to do my eye makeup first. So that's why I love these. You can use kind of like something like All That Glitters or Woodwinked, and it's kind of the similar finish to Toasted by Urban Decay, but you don't get the fallout, and they're really, really amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you now because I don't want this to be a really long video. It seems like all my videos are just needlessly long these days. But yeah, if you've got any questions or anything like that, let me know. I will put all the information in the description box. So I'm going to put it on my blog from now on because I just think that's easier. So just follow the link in the description box and that'll take you to my blog, which will have all the relevant information and links to where you can purchase all these things and everything like that. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.